Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a special report on the Christchurch earthquake and how people in Christchurch are dealing with their insurance claims, particularly the EQC, the Earthquake Commission. Now, the reason we can do this with some authority is that Amanda Morell, our personal finance editor and a former Christchurch resident, went to Christchurch this week for 3 days to talk to people on the ground about how they were dealing with their insurance issues and the EQC and some of the issues they were having. What did you find on the ground there, Amanda? Because we're told 500,000 people have filed claims with the EQC.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that keeps coming up, Bernard, is the lack of communication and information. There's a real shortage. There's inconsistencies in what people are hearing. And that's owing in large part due to the fact that some insurers are out there, they've got a really high visibility and a presence in the community. Others are just kind of sitting back and waiting. They've got to go through the EQC first, so there's a delay there. So there's just a real disparity in information, and also everybody's policy is different. So it's not like one size fits all. It's sort of a minefield of information people have to work through, and they don't know where to get it.
So at the moment, you approach the EQC, and they say whether or not it's likely after a quick view, whether you're going to go over the $100,000 cap.
That's right.
And then there seems to be a bit of a breakdown, a logjam between the EQC and the insurers. Is that right?
That's right. So there's this rapid assessment process where they've got out to see all the houses that were damaged. Understandably, they want to make sure those houses were intact, that they weren't going to fall down, that people were safe. So they've done that, and I understand quite effectively. The problem is there's a second visit required, a minimum of a second visit. So if there's been an established case where it is over $100,000, the EQC is required to come back with their own engineer. But what the insurers are saying is they want to get in there and they just, get the payout, let's get the show rolling here so we can get people's houses rebuilt or repaired to the extent they need. But they can't do that because the EQC has got to come out a second time. What they've asked for, the insurers, is that the EQC relinquish some of the control. They step back, allow the insurers to go in there and do their job. So I understand there were some concessions being made there, that they were prepared to step back, only for a few insurers. But 2 days later, they've gone around and they've changed their mind. Apparently, the last thing I heard was that they were going to sort that out with individual insurers. But it's so arbitrary and random, and people just really don't know where, who to believe and where to turn. Yeah.
Because the EQC seems to be dealing in different ways with different insurers.
That's right. There seems to be some preferential treatment for some insurers. Some would appear to be a bit more financially stable than others. Maybe that's affecting their decision. I think it depends on the day and who you're talking with. And EQC has had such a large volume increase with its own staff internally. There's that problem in itself. So massive confusion.
Huge issue, 500,000 claims.
Yeah.
It must be difficult for EQC to work closely and efficiently with all these different insurers and all the people who are making claims.
That's right. I mean, I don't think EQC is not reaching out from what I understand. I mean, they're probably doing, helping people to the best of their ability, but most people are kind of dealing directly with their insurers because that's the most direct point of contact at this phase. But, if they're being told to wait until that EQC second assessment is done, they can't do anything until that happens. So that's where the holdup is. That's where the frustration is, because keep in mind that some people still haven't been assessed since September 4th.
And there's an issue here too. But if people make a claim for September 4th, they can make another claim for February 22nd.
That's right.
But there seems to be an issue where if you didn't make a claim for September 4, you'll never be able to make that claim for September 4.
That seems to have been the decision that's made. So if you've had a payout already from the September 4th disaster, you're entitled to make that, it reinstates the EQC, you're entitled to make a second claim. But if you haven't been paid out already, even though you made a claim, they're going to say, whoa, no, you're just going to get that one-time $100,000 payout. So that's causing some grief for a lot of people. It seems to be a bit arbitrary in some people's opinion, and again, lack of consistency with the rules.
So Amanda, where do people go for support or to get some redress for the problems they're having?
Well, some people are better at dealing with these battles than others, so they're getting some satisfaction just by virtue of sheer, persistence, dogmatism. They're making the phone calls, doing what they need to do. Others, I guess, they're kind of putting some faith in the system that it's going to work out. But For those with mounting pressure and questions, there's this community grassroots group that's emerged called CanCERN, and it's sort of a residents association. They seem to have established direct links with insurers and government officials. So people are coming to them with their complaints, and they're able to voice those complaints through these higher channels. In turn, they're able to feed back information to the residents, and this is meant to sort of allay some of the frustrations on the ground. So there's that. Also, there's talk about the ombudsman coming down potentially to Christchurch. There seems to be a real demand because there's just a litany of issues that they're working through and complaints.
So the Insurance Ombudsman is based in Wellington,
Yes.
but hasn't taken a step to move to Christchurch.
No, and I guess that's causing a bit of discontent there, because really you have to be on the ground in Christchurch to see what these people are living with. The situation's grave, and I think there's the impression that people from afar in Wellington, Auckland, just have no clue about what these people are living with and the struggles. And you need to be on the ground to see it for yourself, and therefore I think these issues might be resolved a bit more expediently if somebody is on the ground dealing with it. Yeah.
So you're a former Christchurch resident.
Yeah.
Walking around and driving around Christchurch, what did you think when you saw what was there?
It's shocking. Yeah, the city's not the same. I mean, the whole downtown core has been decimated. It's completely blocked off. I mean, this used to be the heart of the city where people, went to work every day, went to shop. It's no longer. So people have been pushed out into the suburbs. They're now setting up sort of hub businesses out there, in these new subdivisions. They're managing with that, but they're completely disconnected. Many other communities like Littleton, where they were very community-based and oriented, they've lost their entire commercial center, cafes, shops, whatnot. They're gone, absolutely gone. So people are pulling back. They're staying at home a lot. You're not seeing people in the streets. There's lack of activities for the children to do. The swimming pools are gone. And they're using portaloos at night that are 3 blocks down the road on a hill.
No, it's no good. Amanda Morell there, who's just come back from a trip to Christchurch, and he's been looking at the insurance aspects in particular around the earthquake, the problems that the EQC is having in coordinating with the insurers, the logjam there is between the first and second visit for the insurers, and potentially the need for an insurance ombudsman to move to Christchurch. I'm Bernard Hickey. This is Amanda Morell for interest.co.nz, reporting on the insurance issues around the Christchurch earthquake.